Okay, what about now? Anything? Test, 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 toast, 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 toast. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to take away your SSI. They're white supremacists. They're going to take away your rights. They're going to take away everything. Oh no, the maggots, the maggots, the maggots. The maggots are so evil. The maggots are coming to take you away. Oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your boy, Conservative Video Dipper. Hope y'all are doing good. Happy Thursday. If you got a dip, pack a freaking lip. We are dipping on the king of all dips, Grizzly Long Cut Wintergreen. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Yes, your boy does have technical difficulties here and on the computer too, by the way. Just because I'm a techie does not mean sometimes I have technical difficulties here and on the computer, by the way. So um, that's okay. I'm learning, but I got it though. We got it, so we're good. So anyway, if you all mother truckers got a dip, pack a lip, we'll get into this. What is happening to the Democrats? Why are the Democrats so the way they are? Why are they so fear mongering? Why are they so used to fear mongering? Well, there's multiple reasons, and a lot of them are because one, virtuous, and two, because they really, I think right now, realize that their party is starting to lose a lot of trust. What does this mean for the Democratic Party? What will happen to the Democratic Party? When more people start seeing that the Democratic Party start losing a lot of trust. So, cheers. So, right now, the Democratic Party has zero to little trust from people. Why? Because for many reasons, they don't know how to tell the truth. They don't like to be honest with people. They are disingenuous. They like to virtual signal a lot. They like to point blame at people a lot more than they should. They like to sit there and continue to be racist. They like to continue to try to direct the narratives towards other directions that should not be directed toward instead of fixing the situation or saying, hey, this is what really is going on here. We need to look at this situation for what's happening. They would rather say, oh, we're not going to look at this. We're going to ignore this because we don't really think, for example, that the black on black crime rate is really happening because it's a white person's problem, or not really a white person's problem. It's the American people's problem. But is it really? I mean, sure, it can be an American people's problem, but at the same time, it's kind of who you're voting for. In a very sick, twisted, effed up way, if you're voting Democratic every time, it's kind of your fault that you're doing it because you're the one voting Democratic every time. You're perpetuating that problem constantly. You're the one that keeps wanting that problem to exist more and more and more. And the other thing is, they don't like to fix problems. They like to pretend that the problem should be the problems of others, like the Republicans. They would rather blame the Republicans because they want to point at the Republicans because the Republicans are the ones actually doing something about it. And when the Republicans are the ones saying, hey, we noticed that the black on black crime rate is pretty bad. We know that this, and this is happening. We would like to fix it. But the Democrats are saying, no, no, we don't want it fixed. And the Republicans are kind of sitting there thinking, well, why don't you want it fixed? I thought that's what you wanted. Well, no, no, no. We don't want it fixed. Not by you. Well, golly gee willikers, why don't you want it fixed by us? Well, we don't want it fixed by you racists. See, they don't want things fixed by us because we know how to fix things. They just know how to bandage things. That's what they want to do. They don't want to fix a problem. They just want to put a band-aid on it and call it a fix. It's kind of like you basically trying to throw a noodle that isn't cooked against the wall and say, oh, it's sticking to the wall. Well, no, that's not a cooked noodle, and that noodle isn't going to stick to the wall. That's you're just half-assing it at this point. You're technically half-assing it at this point by claiming that it's going to work. That's kind of what the Democrats are doing. Now, the Republicans have kind of started virtual signaling a little bit about Diwali, which I told you guys, um, I was going to tell you guys about too, because uh, a lot of some of our House senators have started virtual signaling, and I get it. You know, we got some people from India that come from, you know, other countries and they celebrate over here and whatnot, which is fine. But the problem is that we don't need to start virtual signaling towards other holidays because I think that is a problem that in itself is that when we start virtual signaling, whether it's left or right, that's a problem on both sides. Both sides should not be doing that. And when Republicans and Democrats both start doing that, is a bigger problem because then when you see Democrats doing it already, and then you start kind of seeing a little smidgen of Republicans doing it, you're thinking, oh God, Republicans, please don't start taking notes from these idiots over on this side doing it. Come on, I thought we already learned our lesson that you guys should know this side over here known to do it, and you guys are known not to do it. That's a problem. We already know that we understand that Diwali is a holiday for the people from India. We get it. It's fine. But that's not the big problem. But the big problem is when you start virtuing towards it and you're making it kind of a bigger deal than it is because here's the thing. America is a Christian land. We are a Christian nation. We always have been a Christian nation. Not Muslim, not Jewish, but we are kind of a mixed pot though, which is fine. I will attest to this. We are a mixed nation of different nationalities, different religions, different beliefs, different skin colors, which is cool. But the problem is, again, when you got one group that's going to start virtual signaling, and then you got another group virtual signaling, and both are going to start virtual signaling, that's going to be a bigger question as to who do you trust now? Do I trust the Republicans? Do I trust the Democrats? Who do I lean towards? And a lot of people are going to wonder now because Trump can't run third term. Trump's done this after after this term. Trump no longer can do anything. So who do we lean towards? Well, I don't know. I hope that we get a president next term that will be like Trump, that won't virtual signal, that won't do anything like the Democrats or like the Republicans that will be like a rhino. I hope we can do something that we can do better and still, at least make progress. That's what I want is progress. If we can make a little bit of progress, we'll be better off this year and next year and the year after and the years to come. But our problem right now is the Democrats. The Democrats have had a lot of issues this year because they're trying to get Gavin Newsom on the ticket. They're trying to get Democrats on the ticket. They're trying to get a lot of people on the ticket for um, the people on the tickets for the Democrat Party. But the problem is, how reliable are the Democrats going to be? How reliable are the Republicans going to be? Which party can be reliable? Which Republican, which Democrat not only will be reliable, but not virtual signal or send the wrong message to their party and say, well, we will promise this, but actually accomplish it by doing what they need to do. We've seen the Democrats. The Democrats have failed. Every promise that they have made to their own people, they have failed. They have never helped the black community. They have never helped the LGBTQ community. They have never helped any of their communities whatsoever. And then you see like the No Kings protest in Portland, Oregon, and in Chicago. Those protests were allegedly hijacked by Antifa. Big surprise, right? You probably think, well, no, conservative, that's not a big surprise. Because it's not. They're hijacked by a bunch of Democrats, by a bunch of fascist people. This is what these Democrats have become, their own enemies. This is what's happening to the Democrats. We don't want to become this. The Republicans should not become this. Excuse me. Republicans should take note of this. If the Republican Party does not want to go down this path, don't do this. Don't go to this route. Don't virtue signal. Stay away from doing this shit. Stay away from acting the same way. Do not stoop to their level. Be better than them. Know that these people want us to become on the same level. Just like allegedly J6 was an inside job. They're trying to get us to become like them, childish. The Democrats are childish. This is what's happening to them. They are not only childish, but alleged terrorists. This is what Antifa and these Democrats, Antifa people have become. And we cannot become that. And if we become that, then we will become just as bad as they are. So how do we do this? We become better by voting people like Trump, people that are like minded like Trump, that want the change, that want people to think, okay, what does America want? What do we, the people, want for our country? What do we need for our country? If our country wants a republic for which it stands, then we need to vote for the Constitution, not a democracy. But the Democrats want a democracy. Do we really want a democracy? No, we don't want a democracy. Because what will democracy do to us? It will hurt us. It will literally take us down. It will destroy us. dictatorship is basically what we will become. These people that were out there protesting the no teams don't realize that Trump isn't a king. He's not a king. They want to pretend that Trump is a king, but he's not. He's a president. He's not a king, for crying out loud. And they think, oh well, he's a king because he's gonna try to make himself go third term. You realize that there in the Constitution there is a constitutional rule that says you can only run for 2 terms, whether it's 2 terms twice or you run 1 term and then you lose the second term and then you go second term and then that's it. That's it. You're done. You can't go 3 terms. 3 terms, you're pretty much doing illegal shit. You're doing illegal shit at that point. Trump will not do that. Trump is not going to make an illegal move. And all of these Democrats are whining like a bunch of children, thinking Trump is a king. Because what they don't realize is that Trump is doing something. All of the adjustments that Trump is doing in the White House is what's called a kind of like a facelift. He's basically making the White House better. He's making not only America better, but he's given the White House kind of a facelift. He's doing things differently, and they don't like that. I'm sorry, but sometimes it happens. Look at what Obama did. Look at what Biden did. Biden freaking put the LGBTQ colors in front of the White House during Pride Month. We were pissed. A lot of Republicans were pissed about it because we didn't want Pride Month crap in front of the White House. We didn't think it was appropriate. But then you got the Democrats whining saying, oh, well, we don't like that. He's doing all this, that, and the other to the White House. Well, what's better? Having LGBTQ virtual signaling or having the White House look more like an actual White House that is more decent and appropriate and livable? And at least maybe the next president will enjoy a little bit more. These people are so brain rotted that they don't realize what Trump is doing is making things nicer. But they don't like that. See, this is why when we have Democrats, period, we cannot have nice things at all. It's every time we have nice things with these people, it gets destroyed. It's things get ruined. The party poopers are out there. But oh, God forbid that they can't have their Pride Month lights out in front of the White House. Give me a break. These people, this is what's happening to the Democrats. They are absolutely losing their mind, little by little, because of the media, because of people on YouTube that are allegedly political commentators or pretend journalists that are not like me, that are tier 2 journalists, by the way, that know what the hell they're doing and know what the hell they're saying and have done research constantly, continuously, consecutively, doing their job the right way. They don't do that. And they have the Democratic, numb-nutted people out there telling them, let us think for you. You go ahead and just take a rest. Oh, okay. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. They would rather have socialism. They would rather say, fuck capitalism. Why? Because they don't want it. Because they hate capitalism so much. Because Capitalism literally does do a lot better. Trump has shown proof that capitalism makes things better. That we, the people, have always lived in a capitalist society for years, ever since we gone away from England, since the Boston Tea Party, and ever since that day that our forefathers have fought against the Boston Tea Party till now, things have been a lot better for America. Sure, we've gone through a lot of trial and errors in America. Yeah, we've had a lot of racism and we've had a lot of isms, but guess what? We're really better right now. America is better, but they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit America is better. They want to say that America is racist because they don't like America. They don't like capitalism. They don't like what we do because they hate us, MAGAs, because us MAGAs are making the America the way it should be. The one thing that America always should have been a Christian capitalist nation. Period. Period. You can't argue with that. You cannot argue with that. You cannot. And the sad part about this is that inkling amount of hate that they have towards us, you know where a lot of that comes from? The fact that they learn it. They learn it from the media, the friends, the family. They learn it and they get brainwashed into it because they don't want to think for themselves. They don't want to see the big picture that, oh, maybe it's not so bad. They want to say white people are the problem. White people are the issue towards the black people and brown people allegedly being violated, which is not true. They forget the 1540 or the 1560%. They forget math. They forget statistics. They forget truth. They forget what really is scientifically proven. They don't want to be told truth because they don't want to accept anything but that. They want to sit there and try to act like they're virtuous. They want to pretend that their virtuous ways are better. They want to pretend that it's okay to be virtuous. No, it's not. Well, but what about allegedly Trump giving a bunch of money to Israel? I disagree with that full hard heartedly. I don't think Israel should be getting a freaking dime from us. I don't think Israel should be getting a dime from us, period. Just like Ukraine shouldn't have gotten a dime from us, period. America first, other countries last. My thought of the day for all of you folks out there. Other countries should not be coming first, but us here. Because we have had a lot of problems thinking of other countries first. And that problem is when we think of other countries first, guess what happens? We get screwed every freaking time. Every freaking time. Hold on, I'm going to take my dip out. And every time we get screwed, we never see a penny back from Israel or Ukraine. None of that money comes back to us. None of that money will ever come back to us because guess what? It still goes to them. It supports them. It's like a repeat habit of, well, we should help them and feel bad for them. No, they're not NATO. Israel is not NATO. Ukraine is not NATO. So why should we do that for them? Oh, but because allegedly we should fall into the propaganda. No, we should not fall into alleged Zionism. Oh, but conservative, now you're sounding allegedly anti-Zionist. Well, I kind of am. Because remember, I'm going to say this and I will say this 1,000 times. The Jews now, not the real Jews, but a lot of the Jews that you hear talking about, the Zionists, the alleged Zionist Jews, are secular Jews. They're only Jews by names. They're theists. They're alleged theist Jews. They're only Jews by alleged names, which is sad. That's what we're supporting. And I don't support it. I don't think we should support it. I don't think we should go out and support Putin for what he did. I don't think we should support Ukraine for what they're doing. We shouldn't support any other country but us, the US of A. Because the US has a lot of issues right now. It's not good versus, it's not Republicans versus Democrats. Sorry, it's good versus evil right now. That's where we are right now in America. It's good versus evil. And I will say that 1,000 times because that's what it is. It's that. Because people don't understand that when it comes to the Democrats, they want to have us support other countries. Or, oh, we should do this and that and the other. No. We're tired of supporting people that aren't for America. Well, what about allegedly Antifa? No, Antifa is not for America. Well, what about democracy? Democracy is not for America either. Democracy is against America. That's what's happening with the Democrats. They're forgetting things. They're forgetting the America ways. They're forgetting what America really was about. They're forgetting what our forefathers really fought for and what our forefathers really did for our country back a couple of thousand years ago. And they don't want to remember because they would rather call our forefathers racist. They would rather say that our forefathers were terrible people because they allegedly owned slaves, which, I mean, you got to remember who owned slaves back in those days. Was it the middle class and the low class, or was it the high class? It was the high class, not the middle class and the low class. The middle class and the low class were not able to own slaves. Oh, but allegedly the high class, the middle class, and the low class were able to in their brain. See, this is what happens. The Democrats are forgetting history. They're forgetting everything because they don't want to think about truth. They don't want to think about America in its entirety. They want to think of America kind of like how allegedly they think about the Bible. They pick and choose. They cherry pick things. Oh, they just only want to allegedly cherry pick parts of what America really was. They don't really want to tell you what America really, really was. It wasn't all 100% racist. Sure, we did again have some racist parts in our history. Yes, we had some fucked up things in America. That did happen. Yes, America did go to a lot of wars. Yes, we did fight for our freedoms and our country to believe in what we believed in. Yes, we are deporting illegals, not just because, oh, they're black and brown. No, we're not deporting them because of their skin color. We're deporting them because they are illegals and they have alleged criminal records. And we know that. And ICE sees that. ICE isn't just out there doing that shit willy nilly because they want to. ICE has records, documents of people. They literally have documents. ICE has records of names of people that are illegal, that are coming here, that are here, that have allegedly raped, murdered, and done things that should not be done here. But they want to protect them. This is what's happening to the Democrats. They're forgetting that our country is at risk right now of being destroyed, not only by Antifa, but even by the people that are coming here illegally doing bad things. But they would rather allegedly have them come here and continue to allegedly do bad things because it benefits them. How? How does it benefit them? How does it benefit them? How does it benefit them? It doesn't. Illegal immigrants getting driver's license when they're not even documented to be here. They're getting social securities. They're getting everything that legal United States citizens should be allowed to have, but they shouldn't be allowed to have. And Democrats are in their fifis saying that it's okay. We should allow them because they're brown people and we white people need to acknowledge our fake privilege and remember that they're important and our feelings are justified and our feelings need to be put down and we need to protect and defend them. No, if they're here illegally, we do not need to defend them. If they're here legally, yes, we should if they're here legally. But if they're here illegally, no. I'm sorry. You have no legal rights here. You got to go. But they're pissed off because one of the many problems that we have here is alleged rape from illegals. Like, allegedly, there was an alleged case of a boy that got allegedly raped from an illegal immigrant, a woman that allegedly got raped from an illegal immigrant, and allegedly got murdered from illegal immigrants. Drug allegedly being brought over here from illegal immigrants. All that is happening right under our noses. And Trump knows this. And Trump sees this. Our president and our vice president knows this, sees this, understands this, and he's trying to rectify the situation as we speak. But we got these idiots out here and these pretender YouTube journalists on YouTube and these pretend tier one medias that are just pretending that this isn't happening. It's just all MAGA's fault. And they're not really realizing that it's not MAGA. MAGA isn't doing anything wrong. MAGA's actually, again, trying to rectify the situation by making it right, by protecting and defending the people, following the Constitution, protecting and defending on land, foreign and domestic, by the way. The other day, it was the United States alleged Marine Corps' birthday. By the way, happy birthday to the Marine Corps. Hoorah. Semper fucking Fi to all the Marine Corps and all the Marines out there. Semper Fi. We thank you for your service. Do you ever hear any Democrats out there thanking our military veterans? Mm-mm. That's what other thing is wrong with the Democrats. They don't thank our military for their service. No. But do you hear a lot of MAGA doing that? Oh, hell fuck yeah. MAGA loves the military. Just like allegedly the Democrats say that Trump made allegations that Trump loved the uneducated. Yeah, okay, right, right, right. Well, let's remind ourselves that Trump really does not ever say that because Trump's not that kind of person to say that shit. That's just bullshit. Yes, I'm spitting in a can of corn, sweet corn thing, by the way. Yeah, Trump never said that. That was Biden who said that he loves the poorly uneducated. They forget a lot of things. They forget that Joe Biden said the N word multiple times. And if you don't know the difference between me and Trump, you ain't black. Oh, yeah, the Democrats forget that one too. The Democrats forget a lot of things, kind of like Biden has dementia. I feel bad that, yes, Biden has cancer. I feel bad that Biden has dementia. I feel bad that Biden literally had to be president. He he didn't deserve it. He shouldn't have been president. That was senior abuse. That was alleged senior abuse. I'm not gonna lie. If if the Democrats could have had anyone better than Biden, fine. But they chose him. But they forget a lot of these things. They forget to thank their service for they forget to thank the military for their service. They forget that Biden said the N word multiple times and that Biden allegedly was friends with a Grand Wizard KKK member and had dinner with the Grand Wizard of the KKK and went to the funeral of a Grand Wizard of the KKK. They forget a lot of these things. So the Democrats are very forgetful. Maybe not accidentally, but on purpose, if you know where I'm going with that. It's called CRS, can't remember shit. Because they do it because they don't want to remember shit. Because it's better if you don't remember what happened. What about allegedly the Clintons? What happened with Bill? Oh, we can't talk about that. And I'm not going to go too deep into that one. But they forget about what allegedly happened with Bill Clinton. But they try to allege that Trump is an alleged rapist when that was an alleged civil court case with Eugene Carroll. They forget these things. They try to sensationalize these things. They try to put a punctuation mark on how bad the orange man is. But we all know more than not that this is a fabricated lie that they say more than not. And we know better. And they forget that we're smart enough and we're not dummies that when they say that shit, we already have done our research. 9 out of 10, most all of us already kind of know really what the media has already said about Trump or has to say about Trump. And it's not really nice things. It's a lot of it is defacement and defamation of character towards Trump or towards our current administration, which is bad and can or possibly potentially cause legality issues if they decide to allegedly press legal charges towards them. That's if they decide. Not saying that they would or wouldn't, but if. They can press legal charges if they choose to. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump decides to, because he can. And even Elon can do it. Hell, I hear a lot of things about Elon against him from the anti-MAGA team. Oh, Elon's allegedly cheated on his wife with multiple 16 women. Oh, don't say that now, because if you allege that towards Elon, you know exactly where that would allegedly go. But where's your proof? Oh, well, we don't have proof, but trust me, bro, that's true. Or allegedly Elon was doing the alleged schmatzy salute. Or allegedly Trump was making fun of a disabled reporter. By the way, which the reporter came back and clarified that that was not actually what happened. What happened was Trump was making fun of himself when he was talking because Trump likes to use his hands when he talks, and he knows that people like to make fun of himself, makes fun of him when he uses his hands a lot because he's very handsy when he talks, if you know where I'm going with it. He gets handsies when he talks, and he's very expressional with his hands, and that's okay. That's just Trump. That's Trump being himself, and that's perfectly normal. Some people do that. I do that too. But he claims that people claim that, oh, Trump's making fun of a disabled guy or disabled reporter. And then you have to have the reporter come back and make all of the Democrats look like an idiot and say, no, that's not what happened. But then they still continue to perpetuate that story by saying, well, the reporter's lying. So who's lying then? Is the reporter lying or are you guys lying? Who's lying here? Oh, allegedly Trump went into a locker room and allegedly molested 13-year-old girl and allegedly raped a 13-year-old girl, Katie Johnson, which didn't happen, by the way, which is also defacement and defamation of character. We all know that those are lies, but the Democrats forget very, very well that Trump hears these things. Trump knows about these things. These are things that Trump pays attention to. They forget very quickly that all of these lies can be actually uncovered and be brought to the light that those are lies. Those were things that the media already had covered, and the media had to kind of do damage control because Trump already said something about it, and they still want to use that against him years later. They do the same song and dance. It's over and over and over again. It's like a broken record for these people. They have nothing better to do. Like I always say, it's almost like they aggressively jack off and masturbate towards Trump because they're mentally ill. They're sick, twisted people. They sit there and they're like, oh, I hate Trump so much. Like, you guys are sick freaks. You guys are really demented. Is Trump really living in your head that much? Holy crap. Dude, get some help, please. Please. This is how demented they are. They don't realize that this is how we see them. And they claim that we're the ones that are the bad people. Oh, we're the racists. We hate black people. Really? Really? If we hate black people that much, allegedly, why are we, the MAGAs, the ones that allegedly have a lot more support from the black community than your side? And why does allegedly Trump last year or this year had a lot more votes from the black community? Please, you do explain that one. I'll be dying to want to hear your explanation as to why. Because I don't think you will be able to cover that one up. You probably won't even touch that with a 10-inch pole. That's pretty much not something you would want to even go near. That's like somebody that's obese, that's allergic to a salad. That's truth to you. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Black Lives Matter. I'm afraid. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I figured you would do. You would run away like a little whipped pup because you don't want to explain why Trump gets the majority of the votes from Latinos, from the blacks, from the native, and from other communities because he doesn't virtue signal. He doesn't make false promises towards the community. He doesn't sit there and say, I'm going to help you and then not do it. He doesn't sit there and use bad language or say, if you don't know the difference between me and Kamala, you ain't black. He literally does what he promises and he helps them. He makes things happen when it needs to be done. He has a program, a system that he goes by. It may seem to a lot of people very slow and we're not sure like why is it not happening right directly now and at this moment in time, but it's going to happen at some point. We will see progress. But Trump is like a freaking genius. He's an architect. He's a Picasso. He's painting that picture, but we just gotta wait and see when that picture is done to see what that picture is. It's time. We gotta give him time. But the Democrats just want it now. And that's not how it works. You can't rush progress. Do you want the picture done now and it being sloppy, or do you want it done and it being done correctly? I'd rather have it done with time and progress and being done correctly. This is what's happening with the Democrats. They're not realizing that it takes time to do certain things, and certain things are going to take time. And this is another thing that I've realized with a lot of Democrats. They don't like people that when people say certain things like all lives matter, they hate that. They think, oh, you're just saying all lives matter because it's a contradiction to Black Lives Matter. No, it is not a contradiction. It's actually truth. All lives matter. Yes, including Black lives. Black lives matter. Like almost pretty much instantly like that. Their brains are like a computer. It just because they don't know how to compute with that one. They get angry. Charlie Kirk said it best. When we stop using words and start using violence, then we have a problem. We kind of started getting into that phase now where we stopped using words or not us, but they stopped using words and started using violence against us. Do I think we should use violence against them? No. Do I think we should use words against them? Yes, but not words that are bad, facetious, malicious, but words that are protected under our First Amendment. Yes. I do not invoke any bad words or words that are not protected under our First Amendment, but we should use words, not our fist and violence, because violence will never get us anywhere. And this is another thing that I think is happening with the Democrats. They don't understand that violence will get them nowhere. They understand that violence will never achieve a thing. What happens is when you use violence, it starts making people understand that you're losing the fight instantly. That's an instant reaction to people seeing that, oh, this side is getting really pissed off because this side is using facts, logic, and rational thinking, and understanding coherently what is really going on in the situation of reality, and they don't accept it, but they'd rather use violence because violence to them is the answer. That is never going to be the answer to our world. Well, Black Lives Matter. No. No, if you're going to sit there and say Black Lives Matter, Free Palestine, and allegedly use violence, right there, that tells me you are an instigator. You are an alleged terrorist. You are an alleged bad person. And that tells me right there, you don't want to be a good person. You want to start using bad habits. And this is another thing that I think what's happening with the Democrats is for so long, they feel like they can get away with a lot of things. There's no consequences to their actions. I don't know why. I don't know or understand when it started, but I feel like a lot of their ways and habits somehow might have been rooted from either their childhood, maybe possible potential, just bullying, being bullied, mental illness, some other things, I don't know. Maybe never really been punished as a kid, as kids, brainwashed, manipulated, whatever. But I don't think they ever had to deal with consequences in their life. And I think that's why now we're kind of seeing the subtle changing tides of what they're doing and what's going on today. It's a very subtle change. It's not subtle, but it's very detrimental. We see it. We see what's happening. They don't deal with consequences because they think that whatever they do, it's not going to hurt them. It's not going to affect them. They're not allegedly going to get arrested for it. Oh, they can allegedly go out there and allegedly burn, loot, murder, and do whatever they want with no consequences. But yeah, they're going to have consequences at the end of the day. But they don't feel like that's a thing to them. And they do need to deal with consequences. I don't care what anyone says. If you go out there and do bad things, you have to deal with consequences. Period. You need to deal with consequences. I'm sorry. You do. Because for far too long, these Democrats have been allowed to get away with a lot of bad things. And a lot of these bad things that they are doing are not legal. They're not legal. They're illegal. They're doing illegal things. Why? Because the politicians allegedly promote this stuff. Allegedly, the politicians are funding this stuff. The alleged politicians are saying, "Oh, it's okay. We'll just turn the other cheek and pretend none of this is happening." That's not even good. So it's almost like basically the politicians are kind of promoting it. It's kind of like bad parenting, basically. The politicians are being the bad parent. There's no good parent in this. There's a lot of bad parenting going on. We need to stop allowing the politicians to being the bad parents and have the politicians start being the parents that actually start punishing these people and saying, no, no more. That's it. We're done. No mas. We're done with your bullshit. We're done with your crap. And that's it. But it's not just the Democrats. It's kind of also a little bit towards the Republicans, too. I'm going to say this. It might butt hurt a little bit, people. But I'm going to kind of ream on both sides here. It is the Republicans and the Democrats. Both sides do need to take the blame for this. Both sides, you guys need to really rein into these people. You guys need to tell or call or do whatever you got to do. Take control of the situation because this is getting out of control. Too many people are afraid right now of what's going on. And these Democrats are running rampant. And it's scaring a lot of people. Maybe not a lot of people are scared, but you got a lot of idiot, alleged Antifa terrorists running out in costumes thinking that they're not going to get pepper sprayed, which doesn't really work very well because they still can get pepper sprayed. And they're still going to look like a bunch of jackasses. But anyway, that's just my fruit for thought on that one. But let's go down to the next one. If you want to really think about what is detrimental to their health and their reality, it's to me how they don't see their Trump derangement syndrome as mental illness. I will say this multiple times again. They do have mental illness. I will say this because it is a mental illness. They do have mental illness, but they don't want to acknowledge it. They want to pretend that we are the sick fucks because they are the cult. They claim that we are the cult. This is what happens again when you follow a cult. The cult mentality kind of gets you to believe something that sounds really too good to be true. And they say, well, if you do this, this, and this, and if you allegedly sign your life away, metaphorically, by the way, not physically, unless you're Scientology, then yeah, probably. Even then, that could be even metaphorical or actual. They don't understand that the cult is kind of what they are in. They don't realize that the cult personality that they are in is hurting them. It hurts their family. It hurts not only their friends, their family, themselves, but everyone. They are not seeing the true side of the cultism that they follow. Just like allegedly Antifa is a cult. Antifa is a cult. Antifa originally was to be used for allegedly fighting anti-fascism. Okay, an alleged cause. Not a really good cause. I don't think that was a good cause at all. It's just like Black Lives Matter protesters. It was a bad cause. It really didn't have any meaning to it. It was just kind of like the word racism and fascism. It really had no meaning to it. That's a cult. They are following that lead. They don't understand that these kind of things are really bad and very detrimental to that, very bad for not only their health mentally, physically, emotionally, but they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to see that these kind of things not only can hurt that, but they can lose their job. They can literally have people pissed enough that, for example, there was a teacher that was out at the No Kings protest mocking Charlie Kirk's alleged assassination by doing a gesture that was allegedly mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. And one of the uh, school's higher ups drove by, and she didn't know it, right? She didn't know that one of her higher ups was driving by and saw this. The next day that she walked in, this lady didn't know she didn't have a job. And like that, she was gone. This is the kind of thing that they do. They don't realize that this kind of stuff has consequences, and that following these kind of other people out there doing this kind of stuff is bad, and it's going to make you lose your job. It's going to not only possibly have you be blasted on Facebook and other social medias and people laughing at you for it and make you look stupid for it, but you're basically going to be jobless, and nobody's going to want to hire you, because when you're blasted on social media and you're doing something like that, people are going to probably look at that and probably see who you are and know who you are. More than likely, 9 out of 10, nobody's ever going to want to hire you ever again, because that's not the kind of person that they would want to hire. That's not the kind of person that anybody would look at as responsible. They would think that's irresponsible. And that's not the kind of person that they would want around their coworkers or their customers or anywhere in their employment or even in their faculty, if that makes any sense, or around anyone. And I don't blame the school faculty for firing her. I'm actually happy she got fired. You fuck around, you find out. That's as simple to put it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, people. They're learning that these cult type things that they're following, oh, making fun of Charlie or making fun of, yeah, MAGA, it's going to come with consequences. That doing these things, it's going to get them not only, again, blasted, but people are going to look at this and they're not ever going to have a job. They're not ever going to be employable. And they're going to sit there and wonder, well, golly gee whiz, why can't I ever allegedly get employed? Well, gee, I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the stupid shit you allegedly did at one point in life. I don't know. Is that why? Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe it's because you don't realize that not just allegedly the FBI does allegedly pay attention to what we say, may or may not allegedly pay attention to what we say on platforms, but people do kind of pay attention to what you are, or pay attention, or may not know who you are. Because people may go, oh, I know that person. Again, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. This is how these cult mentalities are. They don't think about this. They don't think about the reality that it's not really good. It's not going to be worth doing this. They think that, again, it's not going to affect them. It's there's no consequences to this. Well, when you don't get employed by anyone, I kind of don't feel any sympathy for you. I really don't feel any empathy or sympathy for you. I'm going to be packing a quick lip here. Really long got one to get out of the way, guys and gals. Thank y'all for joining me. All 3 viewers. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. But this is why I don't feel bad for them. Now, y'all will probably wonder. I've had questions by people ask me, well, conservative, do you feel bad for these people? I do. Ish. In a way, ish, but don't. I do, but I don't. Well, what do you mean you kind of ish, do, and don't? Well, I do and I don't because they kind of brought this onto themselves on one hand, but at the same time, I'm not a self righteous prick and I'm going to say, oh well, because they're human beings too. And I understand that they don't treat other people like they should be treating people. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, you kind of have to treat people how you want to be treated. But let's go into another one. A lot of Democrats love to use the Bible, or some Democrats love to claim that they use the Bible. When it comes to the Democrats and the Bible, they love to kind of just cherry pick, right? Oh, um, oh, you can't. Oh, the conservatives don't like LGBTQIA, but you MAGA allegedly judge the LGBTQIA people. No, we don't judge. You know what we do? What we do is we just say what we don't agree with. We disagree on a factual level. So what we do is we take a factual level of disagreement and we put it into a level that they would understand. That's more comprehensive level to their knowledge that they would be able to understand and say, okay, look, you may be gay, bi, trans, hermaphrodite, whatever, pan, whatever, right? Okay, fine, sure. But here's the thing, the Bible does say that thou shalt not lay with another man, but God also did say thou shalt not judge unless you be judged yourself. But you may get judged. You may get judged. Well, hold on. I'm not judging. I already said I'm not judging over here. I said I already said, okay, whatever. As long as you're not shoving it down my throat or anyone else's throat, I don't give a fine fart who you're sleeping with in your own room. Fine. That's another thing that these Democrats are not realizing is we don't care. as long as they're not doing it to people of certain age demographic or uh, demographics, or not demographics, but certain age groups, right? It's not applicable to underage groups, alleged underage groups. If you're doing it to a certain group of people that are not needing to know this stuff, then that's a problem. If you're doing it and you're pushing it on people, that's a problem. If you're doing it and you're causing a problem and you're making a scene out of it, we have a problem. Okay, that's when we have the problem. That's the only time we have a freaking problem with you doing it. Okay? That's when we have the problem with you. But the Democrats love to use this tool that they learned so well, that MAGA is hateful, spiteful towards certain groups like that. That is a lie. That is a misinformational lie. That is, number one, very, I would say, a degenerate way of saying that we are homophobic, which we are not. We're not afraid of them. And by the way, they love to use the word homophobic, which means phobia, which means to be afraid of something. Homophobia means to be afraid of somebody that is a homosexual, that is the person that loves the same sex. That is um, not true. We're not afraid of them. We're not afraid of them. We're not fearful of them. We do not see them as something that we should be afraid of or consider to be afraid of. We just don't care. We just do not care. But they love to tell people, whether it's on tier one, two, or three media, that the conservatives or the MAGA love to allegedly make it everyone's business or their business about it. We don't. We don't make it anyone our. We don't really make it our business, because there are probably people that are part of the community that are probably gay, bi, or trans that are MAGA supporters. But we don't give a shit. We don't. We're like, okay, whatever. You're bi or trans, whatever. Woohoo! Fuck. We don't care. You're just a human being to us. But oh, you're hateful. Oh, you're homophobe. No, we're not. We know what the Bible says. We believe in what the Bible says, but we're not judgmental towards them. See, we don't judge them because we're not that way. But what the Democrats like to do is the Democrats will take the Bible and throw it in our faces and be like, well, the conservatives love to throw the Bible in everyone's faces and say this. You better follow God. Hallelujah. No, we don't do that. We will tell you if you ask us, hey, can you please tell us what the Bible says about this, this, and this? Sure. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not live with another man." But okay, but hold on. I thought that meant thou shalt not lay with a kid allegedly. Okay, so what you're probably misinterpreting is what the Bible allegedly may be speaking about alleged pedophilia, which the Bible does, I think, allegedly speak on pedophilia, but it also is speaking on homophobia, or not homophobia, but homosexuality. But the Bible at that part that we're talking right now is speak about homosexuality. But we're not rubbing it in your face, but we will speak on it if we're asked about it. We're not going to hate you. We're not going to say, "Oh, you're the F slur," or you're disgusting. That's what the left do. You see the left, the Democrats, you see the progressives doing this. The progressives love to claim the Republicans or the MAGAs doing this. All the time I hear the Republicans are always, or the MAGAs are always to blame for this shit. "Oh, the MAGAs say this, this, and this. Bitch, bitch, bitch." No. You know why? Because we're not that way, number one. And number two, because we're more kind hearted than that. We're not self centered. Because we don't really like to pry into other people's business that is not our business. The Democrats think that the left, the progressive, the liberals, the alleged Antifa terrorists love to think that we pry ourselves into other people's business when we don't. We really don't pry ourselves into anyone else's business but our own. We really don't. We basically stay in our own lane. Well, what about allegedly Trump saying grab him by the PUSSY? There's been a lot of talk about that. If you want to go into that subject, that's one of the things that, again, the Democrats use. There's so many things that the Democrats love to use as tactics because they don't know how to argue with facts and logic. This is why a lot of the Democratic Party are starting to lose steam. They're like the Titanic right now. They're sinking ships. They're losing because they themselves like to pry into other people's business. They claim that we do it, but they do it the most. They are the ones that are doing the things that they claim we do. We are not doing it. They are doing it because they're the nosy busybody bees. They're the ones that are like the Karens at the office at the water cooler doing the water cooler gossip. We're not. We're just doing our job. We literally just go to a 9 to 5 job, come home, live our life, and try to make do with what we have, with the cards we are dealt in life. And that's it. That's it. As fucked up as life may or may not be, we deal with it. And God willing that we get another day to live, we live our best life. That's it. That's how fucked up they are. That's how bad they are. They don't like us because we tell the truth. We don't pry ourselves into other businesses that don't really belong in our ears. They're the Karens and the Richards. We're not. They're the ones that would rather go out and start pretending that they're the grammar, like, they're pretty much like the pronoun police. Oh, you didn't use the pronouns correctly. Really, the Constitution does not say I have to follow your pronouns. You know that, right? Well, then that means I don't have to use your pronouns. Well, you know what my pronouns are? Fucking you. Fuck a yo. Fuck a yo. That's my pronouns. Fuck a yo. Don't forget that. Fuck a yo. Okay? Big a fuck a yo. That's my pronouns. Don't forget that, sweet cheek. Because if you forget that, I'm gonna sue you. Then my other name will be Suyu. That's my last name. My first name's Fuck a you, and my last name's Suyu. If you don't get it right, so make sure you get the whole name correctly, because you're gonna be in a shit world of hurt. That's kind of how they act if you don't do what they say. It's do what I say, not as I do kind of thing. And it's stupid. It's almost like they're the Gestapos. They want you to listen to everything they say, but if you don't listen to them, guess what? You're fucked. You get in trouble. You you see what they do every time. You hear everything they do. Everything that they do, say, and that they're telling you is literally right under your nose and right under you can see it. You know it, folks. It's stupid. We're not dumb. We're not mentally incapable of not understanding normal language. We're we're human with really good brain capacity to think for ourselves. When did we become this stupid? I think we just got this way because we allowed the media to really fuck with our brain. I feel like if you put Sesame Street on in front of these people, they wouldn't learn a damn thing. They would not learn a damn fucking thing. No matter how many times you would either put Hooked on Phonics or Sesame Street or SpongeBob in front of these idiots, they wouldn't. There would be no concept of understanding what just happened. It would just go right past them. Like, um, yeah, okay, great. Did you learn anything? I guess I'll take that as a no. What did you not learn? I will take that as you really didn't. You answered my question perfect. Good job. Science. They can't even tell you what a woman is. Oh, a woman is somebody that identifies as a woman. No, that is not a woman. You know what a woman is? A woman is born with woman parts, born with women DNA. A woman that has a woman DNA. Kind of goes way past their brain capacity. They don't even know. Oh, and And if you tell them what a woman is, the funniest part is they'll argue with you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end this, I would like to remind you all, please do not let the media think for you. Do your research. Go to conservativewave.newswave.com. We are trusted newswave that tell you the truth. Like, share, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel on here. I do tell you guys the honest truth. Guys and gals, the honest truth. I do not cherry pick. I do not just do dip reviews, edit in videos. I talk politics. I talk about shit that really needs to be talked about. I give you guys and gals what really should be said that people will not say. I am a tier 2 journalist. I do research. I have been on 24 platforms. I have done this for 5 years. I'm not some nincompoop that goes, oh. I have credentials that have actually the ability to back up my reputation for what I do. Not like some of these other people that are on the media or on YouTube. I am certified, bona fide certified. I do what I do because this right here is what I do. I call out the left and the right because somebody's got to. Nobody's going to. Because too many people sit on their butts and think, well, I mean, we really do like the Republicans, and yeah, the Republicans may allegedly kind of get us. Sure, you can be scared of both sides, but at the end of the day, both sides have to be held accountable. Both sides are going to be talked about, good or bad. And that's the truth. And I'm going to do it because it's my job. As a tier 2 journalist, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, I'm going to just call out one side or the other. I do call out the Democrats for a lot of their bullshit, yes. I do call out Republicans, yes, for virtual signaling or whatever they do, yes. But I do give attaboys and round of applause and even golf claps for things that they do that they deserve. But most of the time, Democrats never have gotten a round of applause for me or from me because they haven't deserved it. Maybe there might be a miracle. Maybe when pigs fly. Yeah, right. That will be the day. Yeah, and I'm Hugh freaking Hefner. I'm Mickey Mouse in a fucking Playboy mansion. That will be the day when I give the Democrats the round of applause they deserve. But they'll get their round of applause when they actually can balls up. But until then, we're going to do what we do, folks. We're going to keep doing what we do. I love you all. And remember, keep hacking, dipping, and spitting. And God bless you all. God bless our president, vice president. God bless Cash Patel. And to the boys and girls in Arlington, hi, guys and gals. We just want to give you guys a quick hi. Hope y'all are doing good. And we thank you all for doing a very fantastic job of watching us over here. And know we love you. See you guys later.